be honest, at this point, I just want to be a parasite. I want to be a full-time housewife. I want to get married, have children, take care of my husband, raise kids, but truly I cannot find anyone suitable. I am 42 years old, unmarried, and without children. I often ask myself one question. If I stay single like this forever, what will happen when I grow old, get sick, and end up lying in a hospital bed with no one to take care of me? Here is one piece of advice to all girls. You must marry and have children early. After 30, you will realize that marriage becomes harder and harder. I am already 32. I am not married, have no children. It's not that I don't want to marry. I simply can't find anyone.
They're really not going to hear you until it's too late. Had a subscriber send this in, so let's get into it.
刚有朋友说大龄的优质男不多，多，这是什么？
Friend just said that there aren't many high-quality older men, but what's the truth? It's not that there aren't many, it's just that they don't choose older, high-quality women. So who do they choose? They go for younger, high-quality women. Or, if they do go for an older woman, she usually has a high-quality father backing her. Do you understand? That's the reality. So here's the situation. This time, I want to ask for some advice. I was born in 1991, I'm in Beijing, and I teach at one of the country's top universities. In the past, because of my work, I had very little time, so I didn't really focus on dating and relationships. But this year, I started wondering if my timeline for having children is already entering a critical stage. Are you a PhD? Yes, I'm a PhD, and now I'm a university lecturer. Did you graduate from this university? Yes. I also had some experience studying abroad, but then I came back, and I've been working ever since. So that's my basic situation. I'm 34 now, which feels a bit awkward. Are you a Beijing native? No, I'm from Hunan, another province. Do you own property in Beijing? No, I live in faculty housing at the university. What about your income? It's not bad, around 50,000 USD per year. And your height and weight? Height 168 centimeter, weight about 57-58 kilogram. Have you had past relationships? Yes, two, but they were during my school years. Since starting work, plus with the pandemic and remote teaching, I've basically been stuck at school and busy with research. Even now, if I get married and have children, it will definitely affect my academic career, so I've been conflicted. Is your research keeping you busy or teaching? Research. Very busy. The project I'm working on started from nothing, and now it's entering a critical stage where real-world applications are about to roll out, so I barely have time. And currently, you don't have anyone you like or who is pursuing you? Actually, there are, but my problem is I rarely feel moved. Plus, I'm so busy with work that I just throw myself into it. Even when there are people pursuing me, whether postdocs around my age, younger guys, or even older successful men, like divorced CEOs of listed companies, I just can't seem to get into that state.
What we continue to see with modern women is they have no balance. They do the things that they complain about men doing. Oh, he was never there for me. He was always working. He was never there for the children. But then they go and do the exact same thing. I need a man to communicate, then don't communicate. I need a man that's emotionally available and vulnerable, and then go back and don't be emotionally available or vulnerable. Actually be manipulative and deceitful. They be asking for stuff that they're not able to give. You want a high value man, as they say. You want a CEO. You want somebody making good money, but you're mentally not even there. He's not even going to get the best parts of you.
I see. Do you think it's about looks? Not really. Maybe I care about height, but it's not looks. So, given my age, work, and stress, how should I approach the decision about having kids? If I do want to find a partner, what kind of profile would suit me, and through what channels? Here's the thing, you're already very accomplished externally and internally in every way, so you want a man who matches you, and you feel that's not asking too much. But let me be honest, when say a CEO of a listed company pursues you, he feels he's already a match. He has wealth and power, you have education and career, but you don't see him as a fit. What do you want? Someone similar to you, similar looks, similar income, similar education. But the truth is, men like that are extremely rare. You're already near the top of the pyramid. Men at that level are either already taken, or they're no longer chasing love, they're chasing something else. Think about it. If there's a man like you, handsome, highly educated, great career, earning 50,000 USD a year or more, he can easily choose a wealthy second-generation woman in Beijing. Why would he choose you? So if you keep waiting for your match, you might just keep wasting time. By the time you're 40, having a child will be very difficult. If you truly want marriage and children, you may need to lower your standards. Actually, last year I tried dating a man who was a bit weaker than me, but the problem was he lacked confidence. In front of me, he felt small, and in the end it didn't work out. Exactly. A man who has confidence in front of you will, in at least one area, be stronger than you. Otherwise, he feels insecure. But lowering your standards might mean being with someone weaker. That lack of confidence could actually be a good thing. He might center his life around you, help with childcare, while you focus on research. Not everything is negative. I've even thought maybe I should just focus on my career and forget about it. Well, let me tell you, yesterday I spoke to a very successful woman, 37 years old, still unmarried. 2 years ago, she went to the US to freeze her eggs, planning to use them later if she never finds the right person. That way she won't miss her chance. You could also consider this option. Because honestly, it's not that you don't want intimacy, it's just that the right person hasn't appeared yet.
I don't know what standard they're talking about lowering. As a CEO, you're already making, on the low end, $110,000 per year. When you get more senior, you're making somewhere around $650,000. At 37, you're taking a chance, even freezing your eggs, that isn't going to work. What's he going to do with that? He's lowering his standards. Y'all have no problem with that. But when it comes to a man that's your equal, education and money, then all of a sudden that's not good enough.
But what if he never appears, and by then, it's too late biologically? That's why I suggest you prepare in advance. Yes, you're right. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Today, in China, the marriage and birth rates have dropped to record lows. According to official data, in 2023, only 6.83 million couples registered their marriage, a decline of nearly 60% compared to 10 years ago. At the same time, the fertility rate has fallen to below 1.0, far lower than the level needed to sustain the population. This is not only a marriage crisis, it is a social crisis. Sky-high material demands, transactional attitudes toward love, and widening class gaps have made many young people lose faith in marriage. Instead of building a home, they are turning marriage into a cold economic contract. I am 42 years old, unmarried, and without children. I often ask myself one question. If I stay single like this forever, what will happen when I grow old, get sick, and end up lying in a hospital bed with no one to take care of me? In my 20s and 30s, I never thought about such problems. I always felt I was still young, not in a hurry, certain I would eventually meet the right person.
Exactly. Time is not on your side. Y'all be out there with terrible priorities and wonder how you get 40, no kids, no family, and you're trying to play catch up. Oh, let me freeze my eggs. Let me see if I can do it. Let me see if I can do that. Trying to play catch up, thinking that you have more time than you actually do.
But as time passes, as age increases, I find myself more and more lonely, more fearful, and more anxious. Some people tell me, at your age you have no entanglements with children, no trivial troubles of marriage. Isn't that wonderful? But in reality, I am truly afraid of growing old without companionship. And even more afraid of facing sickness and loneliness all alone. I was born in 1988. By traditional counting, I am 38. I graduated with a master's degree from Zhejiang University. I have never been married, never had children. In the past years, I focused only on making money, thinking only about independence, wanting to be a strong, independent woman. I stayed up late night after night, ruined my health, and lost my youth. Now I am considered an older mother-to-be. Having children is no longer easy. I am no longer beautiful, no longer young. The key point is, I didn't even make much money. I even ended up in debt. Now, if I want to find a good man who has never been married, it's nearly impossible. People might say, then find a divorced man with kids and be a stepmother. But deep down, I feel so unwilling. To be honest, at this point, I just want to be a parasite. I want to be a full-time housewife. I want to get married, have children, take care of my husband, raise kids, but truly I cannot find anyone suitable.
Exactly. So basically, you want to live off of a man. You didn't waste your time. You didn't went in the wrong direction with your life. So now you're looking for a man to what? Save you. Hail Mary. In the last minute, in the last seconds of the game, I'm just going to throw up a prayer. Maybe somebody somewhere will want me. God's going to send me a man. I'm going to keep on holding out hope. There's got to be someone somewhere that's going to take me. Okay.
Here is one piece of advice to all girls. You must marry and have children early. After 30, you will realize that marriage becomes harder and harder. I am already 32. I am not married, have no children. It's not that I don't want to marry. I simply can't find anyone.
我说真的，我从来都没有见过这么臭不要脸的女嘉宾，浪费了。
I'm telling the truth. I've never seen such a shameless female guest. She wasted a whole week of my time. Honestly, I couldn't even stay angry anymore. I laughed out of frustration. This girl from Baoji found me on Douyin. I asked her, "So, what kind of man are you looking for?" She said she wanted someone with decent financial conditions. I said, "Well, I happen to know one. His family owns a factory, and he's a good talker. That should be good enough, right?" So the two of them interacted for a week. Then it was time to discuss the real issues. Bride price, the 3 golds, gold ring, gold earrings, gold necklace, and the dowry. I said, let me meet with the girl first. So I asked her, how much of a bride price do you want? She said, I want 2,000 USD. I said, honestly, I've dealt with girls from Baoji before, but those were usually first marriages. This lady told me, in our area, divorced women generally ask for 70,000 to 85,000 USD. I said, that's definitely not okay, that's way too high. In Xi'an, the usual bride price is around 12,000 USD, 18,000 USD, or 24,000 USD. So how about this? Let's settle at 18,000 USD. Would that work? After I explained the pros and cons to her, she finally said, okay, that's acceptable. Honestly, the guy was really good. After I told him about it, he even took the initiative to say, then let's make it 24,000 USD. It sounds better and I can afford it. I said, see, isn't this great? But then the girl said, I want a car. When I return to Baoji, I need to drive back in a car. That way, I'll have face. I said, okay, fine. How about we get you a new car, around 14,000 to 17,000 USD? We're all ordinary people here, not from some wealthy family. A car in that range is good enough as transportation. She immediately said, no way, a car worth just 14,000 USD? What kind of brand is that? Must be domestic, right? As soon as I heard her belittling domestic cars, I honestly wanted to smack her. So I asked, trying to stay calm, then what kind of car do you want? She said she wanted an Audi Q7, about 73,000 USD. I said, why a 73,000 USD car? She replied, because I love you. I said, then why not ask for a car worth 185,000 USD? Why not ask for a Rolls-Royce instead? What you're doing is basically robbery. With me as the matchmaker, you think your robbery becomes reasonable and legal. What a joke! Let me teach everyone a secret to getting rich. Just bring me along and your robbery will be legal.
And as a matchmaker, this is what makes your job so incredibly hard, because these modern women price themselves right out of the dating market. Right out of the dating market. Found a good man, here's a good woman. Let's get you two together. She's already on the first round of negotiations making stupid demands. She works you through those stupid demands and you make even dumber demands. She works you through those and you still have another trick up your sleeve to where it blows up in the end and you find yourself, what? Lonely once again, of your own doing.
Honestly, she's insane. From now on, don't ever bring me such people again. Thank you.
婚恋市场大变天的，现在天门的男生呢，强调的就是我。
The marriage and dating market has completely changed. Nowadays, the men who feel cold, tired, pressured, are emphasizing finding the so-called 3 no women. No degree, no job, no family background. You'd think they're just desperate, right? But actually, their experiences are really tough. Just like one guy told me, with today's huge living pressures, I just want someone I can live peacefully with. Someone who makes life smooth and simple. Every day I'm exhausted from work, like a dog. At the end of the month, I can barely cover my expenses, and I still have to drink and socialize. Those women with high education, good jobs, and high salaries, talking 2-minute and honor dope, all of them carry this overwhelming sense of superiority. As soon as you can't meet their demands, they'll crush you down, make you feel worthless. Some even make your parents question your ability as a man. They refuse to just live a down-to-earth, simple, happy life. How old are you this year? Born in 1994. Where's your hometown? Hefei. Anhui. Oh, and what do you do for work? E-commerce. And your annual income? About 20,000 USD. Have you settled in Hangzhou yet? Well, half settled, I guess. What do you mean by that? It means I don't have a house. I'm just planning to keep working and living in Hangzhou for the long term. Oh, I see. So you do want to settle down in this city? Yes. Then what requirements do you have for a partner? First, good communication and chemistry. Second, being able to get along comfortably and happily. Third, a basic level of material security. Listening to that, it seems like your 3 requirements are not exactly low, right? Basically, you mean, he should look at least decent. He should provide emotional value. And he should also have a house and car. Is that what you mean? Not necessarily. House and car don't matter that much. We could buy them together. If not, that's okay too. It's optional. All right. What about age requirements? Born in the 92nd or even 82nd is fine. How much older could you accept? I don't really care about zodiac signs or that kind of thing. Whether he's from the 82nd or 92nd doesn't matter. What matters is his personality, how we get along, and his income level. So what do you think is the minimum income a man should have to meet your expectations? About 20,000 USD per year. Do you have plans to get married within the next year? Yes. What about your hobbies and interests? Reading. Recently I've been learning cooking and improving my culinary skills. Also hiking and that kind of thing. And your monthly expenses, roughly? You mean personal spending? I haven't really calculated it, but basically just normal living expenses. Do you have a habit of saving money? Yes. So for your ideal partner, would you prefer him to have better financial conditions or be more presentable when you go out together? In the past, I would have thought about it that way, but now I think it depends on who I actually meet in real life. Many women and men imagine too much about what they want, but in the end, it comes down to reality. So I'm more practical now. Last question, how much bride price would be required to marry you? That depends on his sincerity. In my hometown, there's no rigid rule about it. Even if there's a bride price, the woman's family would also prepare a dowry. Yes, that makes sense. After all, you've worked many years and have some savings yourself, right? Yes. All right then. I sincerely wish you find your partner soon and get married.
And when you get all of the foolishness out the way, this is the type of conversations that you can have with women. But a lot of these modern women are delusional to where within the first 1 to 2 questions, you already know why they're single and why they will continue to be single.
I am 33 years old this year. I have never been married and I have never had children. My body's resistance is truly getting weaker day by day. Recently, after working overtime too much, I developed migraines. I finally managed to take a day off to rest, yet the very first place I ended up going was the hospital. I caught a cold and my whole body felt weak. Meanwhile, my girlfriends went to the seaside to take photos. And me? I just picked up medicine, returned to the hotel, and went to sleep. All of a sudden, I felt deeply afraid. Afraid of growing old all alone? Afraid of having no one to rely on. If I never get married, what will happen when I grow old, get sick, and am left lying in bed, unable to move?
It's a very real fear for a lot of women, but they won't say it because they have to run. This is like essentially a hamster wheel of modern womenism. Just I have to get back on that wheel. I have to maintain the status quo. I can't let anybody know that I'm hurting and I'm having second thoughts about all of this nonsense and all of this I'm not settling. I'm not lowering my standard stuff.
So, what kind of partner are high-quality men actually looking for as a wife? If I fail at this, I'll really lose all confidence, because one of the biggest traits of a high-quality man is that he never actively pursues women. Unless you can bring him some real value, you're the one who has to take the initiative. If you want to marry well, you must endure hardship before you can reach the outcome, just like ordinary people who want to enter a top university must study hard for 10 years before they can succeed. You have to sacrifice first in order to have tomorrow. But I feel that my conditions are not bad. I shouldn't count as average, right? Whether your conditions are good or not depends on who you compare with. Take the guy you met last month as an example. His family runs a business, they own 7 or 8 houses, 5 or 6 commercial shops, and he personally makes several $100,000 USD a year. His education, height, and all other qualities are excellent. The main reason he agreed to meet you was because you are indeed beautiful and your education can hold up in front of others. He told me himself that he didn't care much about other conditions. What mattered most was the feeling. But after being with you, he felt the overall vibe was not okay. You might say, well, I didn't force him to buy this or that. But after about a month of dating, he decided to stop seeing you and gave 4 reasons. First, although you live in the main city, your family is from a fairly ordinary small county. You're an only child, your mother has a pension, and you earn a salary of more than 10,000 USD per month. But being an only child, your parents didn't buy you a house, which already shows that your family is quite average. Your mother's pension will likely only be 2,000 or 3,000 USD a month, just enough for herself, nothing more. As for your monthly income of more than 10,000 USD, yes, that sounds good, but you don't have any savings at all. You said, but I bought a car. It's not like I waste money. Still, each month you pay 2,000 USD for rent, 3,000 USD for food, plus cosmetics and clothing. Sure, you managed to buy a car without debt, which is already decent. Compared with your peers, your income is indeed not bad. But working in a Fortune 500 company, though it sounds impressive, still faces the risk of layoffs. He might prefer a woman in a government or public sector job because it's more stable. You said, but wasn't he supposed to value feelings above all? The issue is, he didn't feel good with you, so he has to consider reality as well. At first, he had a good...
Ooh, if you want to talk about strict demands, you want to talk about high standards, this is what can happen to you. And this, a lot of times, is what happens with quote-unquote high-value men in the U.S. too. This is what men continue to try to tell these women. If y'all want to go there, men can go there. This man ain't playing with them.
At this age, no one wants me. If someone had wanted me, I would have married long ago. Back in my 20s, I thought of myself as young and beautiful, financially independent, with many suitors chasing after me. So my standards grew higher and higher. I felt no one was worthy of me. But now, in my 30s, I am already at the age where I cannot afford to be picky. Forget about asking for cars, houses, or bride price. Even if I were to pay for the car, house, and bride price myself, men wouldn't even take a second look at me. Reality is this cruel. Don't blame anyone else. If you must blame someone, blame yourself. For not listening to your parents earlier, for not marrying earlier, I can accept the idea of never marrying, of living alone until the end of my life. But will my parents accept that? Yesterday, my mother said a few sentences that woke me up completely. She said, "If you never marry in this lifetime, our family line will be cut off. When you are sick and hospitalized, there will be no one to take care of you. When you need surgery, there will be no one to sign the consent form for you. When you grow old, you will only grow old in loneliness. Maybe you could send yourself to a nursing home, but don't think that means you can sleep soundly without worries. First, because you have no children, others will reject you, bully you. Even if someone slaps you, you won't dare to fight back. The consequence of not marrying and not having children is that you face loneliness alone and grow old in pain. Because you have no family affection, in the lights of thousands of homes, there is no lamp that belongs to you, no companionship, no care, and no one to respect you. The money you earn, others will covet it. In the end, you face loneliness, aging, and death, all by yourself. So people, you must marry and have children.
I'll say this. Your parents want the best for you a lot of times, majority of times in general. But sometimes what they want isn't necessarily the way that you want to go. Right. And so they're wanting you to do certain things and have certain things by a certain age. Basically, I think a lot of times parents want you to be better than they did earlier so you can have a more successful life longer and live longer and do more things that they never got to do. So that's one thing you have to balance. But these modern women are a little bit different. They're irresponsible. They don't know how to prioritize. There's an imbalance somewhere. There's something somewhere having them thinking that they're going the right direction and they're dead wrong. Feminism, this type of sprinkle nonsense to where they're like, well, I'm 32 and I could pay the bride price. I could do this. I could give that. But men still aren't looking at me. That's because for some reason, you guys don't know your window. Y'all don't know when y'all are hot. Y'all don't know the best chance of getting something, having something. And when you pass that, you don't realize it until it's 5, 6, 7 years past where you should have been. Your warning should have been 10 years before that.
Good impression, but after 1 month he realized you were rather clingy, always wanting him to guess and coax you, which made the whole process of developing the relationship extremely tiring. Of course, this may be related to your experience because you're attractive. You've always had many admirers since childhood. But men who are more outstanding than you are not swayed by this because they themselves have plenty of admirers. To be blunt, he felt that your overall value for money was not high. Look at it this way. Your family background is average and your job is not especially secure. You spend a lot and lack financial planning, so being with you feels like constant consumption. Yes, you're pretty, but your personality is difficult. You're not that old, but since you've already been working for years, he also has the option of younger women, even those born after 2000. He didn't choose them because he thought a woman born around 1995 would be more mature and easier to get along with, but unfortunately, you didn't meet that expectation. Overall, you're not beautiful enough for him to overlook everything else. Neither your economic value nor your emotional value made him feel it was worth it, so he ended things. You might say, well, then he failed too. Isn't he calculating like running a business? Yes, exactly. Because he carefully considers these things, it shows he's truly serious about marriage. Marriage is not just a continuation of love, it's an upgrade to family. If all your conditions only benefit yourself, but not the family as a whole, then he has no reason to choose you as part of his family. Think about it. If he didn't have his wealth and background, would you even be sitting here asking why you weren't successful? People are always a mix of emotion and reason, especially high-quality men. On the emotional side, he already has the conditions, so he can afford to pay for what he likes, therefore he'll follow his feelings. On the rational side, true feeling is rare, and if he meets a woman of similar family background who's acceptable, he can also marry her, since love can be nurtured. But many women fail here. They don't have the rational conditions, yet they still want the emotional treatment. So the real question is, what exactly do you think gives you the right to expect that?
And so it seems like we have that in common now, don't we? You thought you was going to go over there and act a fool too, now didn't you? You thought, oh, because we have different values and we see things differently? Seems like we don't. You go over there acting a fool and the man says, wait a minute. If you want to play that game, I've got the upper hand on you. If you want to go there, I outrank you. All of these demands that you're talking about? Absolutely not. Y'all get in here running your mouth, bumping your gums, but you don't have any backing for it. So you do all of this stuff. And that's what he said. Y'all like to say that men are predators, but this man said there were women younger and more prettier than you were. But I decided, hey, she's older, more mature. Why not? This is what I'm looking for, somebody more on my level. But after talking with you, you don't have much to offer now, do you? Why are men staying single? Well, turns out the same reason in the US that it is in China. Isn't that crazy? You guys don't really have a lot of value. Y'all's mindset is terrible. Y'all think that, oh, I'm the best. I can get away with this just because I had an athlete, or in my childhood, I was this type of person. I was that girl. I was the it girl. Not anymore, you're not. Or you might be to an average man, a man on your level. But then when you start trying to jump up into men who don't have to play that, who have options, the men that don't want you, that man discards you and say, I ain't got no time for that. And now you sit up here trying to do an interview, trying to figure out what happened. What happened is you thought you were too big for the program. And the program said, no, we don't need you, and kicked you out.
How high can the demands of an older leftover woman for a bride price really go? A bride price of 1.5 million USD. Yes, 1.5 million USD is only the basic threshold for marrying her. After all, with her goddess-like beauty, she believes she naturally deserves to marry into a wealthy family. She says, I believe I'm worth this much, am I wrong? Perhaps the girl's demand isn't wrong in her eyes. To her, even 1.5 million USD is already compromising. What she truly needs is a domineering CEO-type man who will cherish her because life is long, and only such a man will treasure her. In her view, only a multi-million-dollar bride price can make up for her lack of security. Before this, she had accompanied a man for 8 long years, but sadly, fate wasn't on their side, and they were forced to separate. I once stayed with a man who had no savings, no car, no house, for 8 years. 8 whole years of living together. That experience made me deeply realize just how important material foundations are. After this failed relationship, she claims she had a complete awakening. Relying on her beauty and professional abilities, she decided never again to give ordinary men a chance. To filter out men only obsessed with her looks, she even wore a veil on stage. Why are you wearing a veil at a matchmaking event? Someone asked. She replied, because I want him to first appreciate my inner self. Hearing this, the host Wang Po was quite satisfied, thinking that beyond her outer conditions, the girl must also have a rich inner world. Soon after, she began to introduce herself. Now 30 years old, from Sichuan, she works in the beauty industry. Even without mentioning her career success or her beauty, she believes her inner qualities are enough to conquer all the wealthy men watching. Since I want him to first appreciate my inner self, then let me share a few of my strengths. She went on, my family is very traditional and so am I. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't gamble. But it was precisely such a seemingly flawless little fairy who, after raising the stakes again and again, finally pushed host Wang Po to the brink of collapse. This stage cannot satisfy your demands. Let me bow to you, sorry, my dear. Before this, Wang Po had introduced her to several men. A handsome 20-year-old. She dismissed him as too young. A successful man around her own age. She felt he wasn't mature enough. Any others? She kept asking. After clarifying her requirements, Wang Po quickly selected several candidates. But she still wasn't satisfied. Finally, she raised her most important condition. I actually have one more small requirement. What requirement? Another one? The bride price must be 1.5 million USD. This sky-high demand was nothing short of delusional. Not only far beyond what ordinary families could afford, it completely reduced marriage to a material transaction. She says she hates feudal traditions, but insists the bride price cannot be 1 cent less. And even more absurd, and the groom's family cannot demand an equal dowry in return. Why must it be 1.5 million USD? Someone asked. She replied, because he should be able to give me 3 million USD, right? Hearing this, the men on stage trembled with fear. To keep them from being deceived, Wang Po hurriedly sent them off stage. What are you still standing here for? Go down! Seeing this, the girl appeared aggrieved. She insisted she must marry a domineering CEO, and only a man willing to give her everything could win her heart. I can wait 8 years, but I cannot wait an entire lifetime. The one who is truly willing to give everything for me is the one who truly loves me. Yet she failed to realize that tying love directly to money is itself a deeply flawed value system. Wearing a veil doesn't mean she truly values inner qualities. And matchmaking isn't some fantasy stage play. This time, Wang Po refused to introduce her to any more men. Frustrated, she finally revealed her true colors. If necessary, I can support myself. Wang Po retorted. Then go ahead and support yourself. Wait forever for your 1.5 million USD. But know this, one day, even if someone has 1.5 million USD, you won't be worth it anymore. As age increases, a woman's core competitiveness declines rapidly, fertility drops, and the pressure intensifies. Yet to marry into a wealthy family, she spares no effort, making even more outrageous demands. In the end, she continues to wait bitterly for her Prince Charming to take her home. Just like how everyone dreams of winning a 1.5 million USD jackpot, daydreaming isn't wrong. But just like that jackpot, such fantasies may never come true. Am I wrong? She asks.
And this sounds very similar to what modern women do in the US. They out here thinking, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to put my looks behind a paywall. I'm going to use my looks for currency. And I'm going to get a man to pay for this. He's going to pay for that. But then they start getting outrageous. They think that they're the best looking person out there. And men are so driven by beauty, in order to see it, they'll pay anything. Unfortunately for you, most modern women are delusional, and you're one of them. And so you're thinking, well, I'm going to get 1.5. And essentially, she's at the end. This demand, she should have started at 21. Probably about 18 to 21. You should have started this. That way at 18, you'd have been able to work out the kinks. You'd have been able to work out the issues. It would have taken you a little time to see exactly what you offer. And then probably by 20, 21, maybe 22, you're rocking and rolling. And you can say and demonstrate, this is what I can bring to you. This is what I can do for you. I can do this, and this. But like Kevin Samuel said, you're in the danger zone. Well, why is that? Because now you're more set in your ways. You're getting closer to the biological age of having trouble having children, right? Not saying that you can't, not saying that it's not possible, but you're getting closer to that age. Your value was when you were younger. This is what these men are valuing. Well, that's not right. That's not this. That's not that. It's not right that y'all keep on saying y'all want a man that's 6 foot, when plenty of other men, she had several men come up there, and none of them were good enough for you. So it's okay for y'all to say he ain't good, he ain't right, not enough, trash, get this man out of my face. But when a man says, okay, now it's my turn to pick, you've stated your demands, now it's my turn, then all of a sudden it's a problem.
Y'all crack me up with this. Have you been chosen yet? Have you been chosen yet? This is how I know that you bird brain yet again didn't listen, nor do you have logical sense. Because nothing in my message was talking about whatever the fuck talking about in this comment section at all. I was using logical sense on how society looks at attractive people and how you look at attractive men. And now y'all mad when a man says that a woman's not attractive, and then y'all want to come for the man as if he was wrong. He wasn't wrong. Would she be a Victoria's Secret fashion model? Would they choose her to be the cover of a beauty magazine? If she was going for the role and it said that they were looking for a black girl who is pretty and has bubbly personality, and there's her and a bunch of other black girls who are pretty, who have bubbly personalities, do you think that they're going to choose that chick? No, they're not. And since you wanted to come in my comment section and yap whatever the fuck talking about, first of all, nor did I say yet again that she should be accepting crumbs. I don't know why y'all think that a coffee date is crumbs. This is how I know that a lot of you don't pay attention, let alone do you have your own thought. Because the only people that have been telling y'all that coffee dates are low effort are on the internet. That's it. Y'all don't even have your own thought, let alone do what actually is genuine to you. Y'all listen to everybody else. If I told you tomorrow to wear pink because it does something to the male gaze or whatever the case may be, half you be starting to wear pink. Let's not act like that's not true. And for you want to sit here and talk about, oh, I don't even give about men. I don't even like men no more. I don't Shut the fuck then. Why are you even talking? Like, why are you even saying all? Yet again, like I said in one of my videos, y'all think just because you get a certain type of date, it's going to qualify you to be a certain type of woman to that man. A man can take you on a 5-star restaurant and then literally the next day ghost you. Y'all have no personalities. Y'all are bird brains. Y'all have nothing to you. As much as y'all want to sit here and act like y'all do, a lot of you have nothing to you that men want outside of what? They can get that. A fat ass, they can find that. So instead of asking me, have I been chosen yet? Have you been chosen yet? If you've been chosen, get the fuck out comment section and go suck your man's the fuck.
My exact point. A lot of these modern women are losers. Men are going to see that when you start talking. You don't know what you're doing. I'm not going to be able to take you into my circle because I hate to say this, but you're an idiot. Like, I'm sure you're a good person, but you're an idiot, man. I can't take it to my mama like this. My dad gonna see you and be like, what is this? Now, because they're not gonna do it to your face, but when you leave, they're gonna be like, what was that? What do you got going on here? Where'd you find her at? It's probably somewhere along the lines of what my mama would have said before I got married. Somewhere along the lines of what my mom. If I would have taken her to my grandmother, she'd have been like, who is this? Like, where'd you meet her at? Even some of my aunts, even the nicest one. I don't know, nephew. I don't know if she's for you. And start giggling in that high-pitched giggle. Start laughing in that high-pitched laugh. Her and all of my other aunts. I don't know. I don't know, nephew. You might need to get another one. Nephew, I don't know where you found her at, nephew. Because she not the one. My cousin would have been the same way. Don't let me get started on my sister-in-law. She'd have told me straight up. After, brother-in-law, I don't know. She ain't nothing. She's told me that before. She told me, nah, she's not going to be the one for you. She's not this. She's not that. She's not this. She's not that. Are you really going to be attracted to that in 10 years? In 10 years? I don't know. I don't think she's the one for you. I do not like her. I do not like her at all. I'm going to tell you right now, you can go ahead and marry her, but I'm not going to support the marriage. I'm not going to, really going in. Really going in. I'm not going to support the marriage. Well, I'm going to support the marriage. I'm going to support you, but don't be expecting us to hang out. Don't be expecting me to talk to her on a regular basis. Don't be expecting me to have any type of relationship with her. Pretty much. Because y'all don't have nothing to you. And I'm not trying to hang out with somebody that don't really have any substance to them. They just talk. They dress a certain way. They present themselves a certain way. The problem is you guys think that men are dumb. And so you think that men are going to be able to see through your facade. You got makeup on and you're looking good. You go from a 6 to a strong 9, right? Strong 8.7. You go from that to a 6 to, in some cases, depending on the way you do your makeup and your clothes and the way your body is and where you can accentuate and stuff like that, and the way you've developed your persona, you go to a 10. You can be a 5 and go to a 10. Honestly and truly, that can happen. But because people with substance will be able to sit down and have a conversation with you, the conversation is not going to last that long. They're going to sit back and be like, oh, okay. And because they've learned how to be gracious, then they'll let you off the hook and they'll just never call you again. They'll let the date or whatever go on, and you'll never even know that they were unhappy with you. That's why you have a lot of women on here talking about, I had a millionaire, or I get men to do this, 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 and this, because you've been able to basically get dates with them. Your presentation, all the way that you talk, your persona, the way that you, the energy that you give off, it says, oh man, I think I might like this. But then when they sit down and talk to you, then they're like, oh, I don't know. Maybe we should go a different direction. Well, I've been on multiple dates, and have they ever called you back? No, exactly. Because you really don't have a lot to you. And then what you start running into and you start having to accept, and that's where I'm not lowering my standards. That's where that comes from. Because not only are you looking at, I should say, not only are you looking at the high value people that have paid for you on dates, now you're looking at the ones that are ready to play. They've got some money, the Chad and Tyrones, they've got some money now, and now they're looking to have a little arm candy. And so that's what you actually have lowered your standards. That's what you're now expecting is to be eye candy. Well, I know my beauty can get me something at the very least, so that's what I'm going to do. And that's all you can do, because that's the only skills that you have. And some of the women out there, modern women, they try to go to school, or they try to get some sort of trade or something like that, some sort of thing outside of their beauty, because they're thinking long term. And so they think, because they've gone and done that, I think Lisa Ray would be one of them, or no, I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna say her name. Some of these women out here, they'll go and get like, oh, I'm a lawyer and I'm beautiful, or I'm a judge and I'm beautiful, or I'm a business owner and I'm beautiful, so I should be able to get X, Y, and Z, no questions asked. Then they forget about their personality, and that's when Chad and Tyrone come in with money. Yeah, now that's what I'm talking about. A man to pay for everything, a man to do everything. Yeah, man, I knew I would find it, and they feeling good. But then the man is like, hey, you know, I don't think this is going to work out. Hey, but we just slept together. Yeah, I know, and I really enjoyed it. You're one of the best that I've ever had, or whatever they need to say, and get up out of Dodge. Then when they try to call him back again, they get the assistant. They get the gatekeeper, because the man really wanted to hit it, quit it, and get up out of there. And so now when you get 35, 40, you're trying to reconnect with the man that you made a bad impression with 10 years ago. Problem is, in a lot of these situations, you're now a single mother. If the man is still on the market, you're now a single mother. And why would a man want that? Y'all be playing a game, a dangerous game, and finding yourselves, quite honestly, a lot of times out of place. And because you don't like to listen to anybody and take accountability, you're going to find yourself in that place more and more often. Best of luck out there.